In this video, I talk about being more assertive, empowered, and taking back control.
This is how legends are made.
Today I'm going to reflect or share some thoughts on a Instagram quote I put up recently. And it's this: to not decide is still a decision. And why I pick on this is because it's quite a subtle language observation that I'm just trying to explore a bit further with you now, because I think there's some benefit in noticing that a common phrase that we can use is saying, I don't know what to decide, or I won't take a decision. And somehow that can incorporate some sense of, lack of ownership of the situation. It's somehow there may be things outside of us that we're allowing to be the deciders. So when we come out of a phrase that when we say that I don't know what to decide or choose from, we're still actively making a decision. We are still actively taking some sort of ownership, even if we're not aware of it. And the reason I just focus a little tighter on this is because it's so important to recognize that our language determines how much we believe we can control our world, how much we inform ourselves of that, and how much we feel we can achieve. When we begin to just bring back some ownership and saying, actually, even me not deciding is in itself a decision, we're putting ourselves in a point of, control, assertiveness, empowering, and certainly more empowering than anything else. To say I can't decide is disempowering. To say that I can't decide is my decision is more empowering. So as we begin to take that ownership, as we begin to say actually to not decide is still my decision, what we're doing is putting ourselves in a point of control, in the sense that we are empowering ourselves. We're not disempowering or giving our power to somebody else. It's really important that we can find ways that we can put control back into situations that we feel that somehow are happening to us, because other people are controlling some of the information, some of the decisions, and we can feel very powerless. A way to walk around that or negotiate that situation is to actually raise it above one level and put something in place that would be able to put you more in power and control. Now, these are not negative words. These are a point where you're feeling empowered. You're feeling you have some decisions that are happening that you can set some criteria around. So, for an example, it could be that someone says to you that I'll come and see you at your home after 3 o'clock. And you go, okay, well, you may agree to that, but you're thinking, 3 until what time? When's this person going to arrive? Is it 3:01 or is it going to be like 10 minutes past 9? It's quite a broad reach, so we feel like, should be in, should be out? What should we do? Do I prepare, not prepare? And the way to put some empowerment back into that and assertiveness into that is saying, 3 o'clock's great, I need to leave home by 4, so make it between 3 and 4. So you're have accepted the situation. Someone has given you what they're going to do. There's not a lot you can do about it because they're either going to turn up or not going to turn up, but they're arriving. You can still empower yourself in a way that collaborates with the situation, rather than feeling it's washing onto you and you just need to accept it. So when we talk about empowerment and control, it's only to understand the ways that we can take ourselves out of feeling disempowered or at the whim of somebody else. We can set conditions up around what we're told. Don't have to simply always accept it. So let's take another example. Maybe a friend asks to store some things at your home, and they come along and they do, and they actually leave more than actually is comfortable for you to have in your home, and it becomes a bit of an issue, a bit of a problem. But you may feel that you've said yes already, you feel really obliged to keep it, and it's a real issue. And you can feel a bit burdened by the guilt of saying, sorry, no, you can't do that, or it's too much for whatever reason. So we have to feel what we're receiving it, and it disempowers us. A way to get back into a degree of control or empowerment or assertiveness is to say, thank you for leaving your stuff. It needs to be gone in 12 weeks because of whatever reason. or you can be harsh and say, it's gone in 12 weeks, I'm going to dump it. So you can put some conditions around there. So you can accept what you said yes to, but you can put yourself back in an empowered position by putting conditions around it which better meet your needs. So as I spoke about, we're starting from an idea about kind of not being able to decide is a degree of a decision, and the purpose of that idea about language is how we take control and empower ourselves more, which then becomes a larger question about situations, how we can take control or empower ourselves when we feel disempowered, when we feel it's out of our control. So as I was kind of going through that kind of rant, I hope you picked up some points which will be very useful for you. And in particular, when it comes to dealing with situations, so maybe like the last example, where we're feeling we are being over generous and we don't know what to do about it. How do we then cope with that, or what can we do? And I was suggesting there, one of the main ways to do it is to actually kind of put conditions which wrap around what has been agreed to already. Place yourself in a point where you can put some empowerment back in there. How can we assert our needs inside of that respectfully to the other person? So consider when you're in a situation when you're feeling in a corner and feeling that people are deciding things for you, or you're feeling you're at the mercy of a situation, get creative and think about ways you may be able to actually put some conditions into the conversation or the situation which actually give you some control, some decision making for you, some determination of how things go. So I hope you stay with me for this whole video, because I do feel we have these kind of conversations quite often with people where they're feeling quite disempowered. So maybe there's a technique inside there that you can use. So if you have enjoyed this video and got some value from it, please give it a like and maybe drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll catch you next time.
This is how legends are made.